guys, welcome to Yoga with Elyse. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Elyse, and for those of you that do, welcome back. So today's video is yoga for beginners, and when I say beginners, I mean beginners, okay? So if you guys have got problems with spending time on your hands or you can't go on your knees, this video is for you. You should find something to suit you so that you can get started with yoga too. So please take today's video at your own level. If there's something that you're not comfortable doing, then please don't feel you have to do it. You can skip the pose, you can switch it out for something that's a little bit more comfortable for you if you have a little bit of experience already, or you can choose a modification. I may offer you something with a block. And with that in mind, join me lying on your back, however's comfortable for you to get there. So lying down on the back, knees are bent, get yourself comfy. Brilliant. Always, we're going to start off with our breath. So maybe take your hands to your belly so we can feel breath. We're going to breathe in through the nose, allow the belly to expand into the hands, and breathe out through the nose. Feel the belly fall away from the hands. We just spend a few breaths here. Into your chest, give them a little hug, maybe rock side to side. We're going to extend one leg, so keep hold of one leg, extend the other one and let it fall onto the mat, nice and relaxed. Gently switch it over, so bring the long leg back in, grab hold of that one, extend the other one. And both legs back into the chest, and then pop the feet on the floor. Take your arms out to the side, and you're going to drop your knees over to the left. Keep your shoulders on the mat, so only let your knees fall as far as your shoulders will allow. Bring your knees back into the center and over to the right, again keeping your shoulders on the mat. Knees back in, and gently, however's comfortable for you, bring yourself back up to a seated position. So use your hands if you need to, and if seated is not comfortable for you, crossing the legs, then you don't have to. You can sit on a block, or you can sit with your legs out long, or why not go on a chair if that's more comfortable for you. Okay, so we're going to do some seated cat-cows. So you're going to take the hands to either the knees or down on the floor, wherever's comfy for you. On your inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, look up. We've got an arch in the back. On the exhale, we're going to round the spine, let everything drop forward, the head hangs loose. Inhale, lift it up, arch the back. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. And come back to neutral. So we're going to lean side to side now. Take the right hand down to the mat. Inhale, take the left arm up. Exhale, lean over to the right. Back to center, take the left hand down to the mat, inhale, take the right arm up. Exhale, lean to the left. Notice how we're moving with our breath here. Exhale, take the hand back down. Take the left hand to the right knee, the right hand on the floor for support behind you. Inhale, come up nice and tall, straighten the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. And then exhale, look over the right shoulder. Gently come back to center. Take the right hand to the left knee, the left hand behind. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Gently back to the center. That's what our spine is nice and warm, ready to do a little bit more. So, when you're ready, you're going to take your legs out long. Now this seems really simple, but actually takes quite a lot of muscles. So, if you find it difficult to sit in this position already, take a block, and that'll help you sit nice and tall on your sit bones. So what I want you to do here is roll your shoulders back and lift through the crown of the head. We're sitting as tall as possible. And if you need to bend your knees, then bend your knees. We're going to inhale, take the arms up, trying to keep nice and tall. On your exhale, bending your elbows, still sitting up tall. Inhale, raise it up. Exhale, bend. Inhale up. Stop, pause there for me. Make sure your ribs are down. So we're pulling the belly button into towards the spine, the ribs are coming down. The arms are coming up by the ears. Exhale again, bend the elbows. Inhale up without letting those ribs flare out. Exhale, bend. Have you got one more for me? Inhale up to the top and hold. And gently release the arms down. Great job. I'm going to go into a boat pose now, so a little bit more core work. You might feel it in the hip flexors at the front of the hips. And potentially, if you've got a block, you're going to want to remove that and sit back down. So you've got the feet on the floor, the legs are bent, and the hands are going to come behind the back, fingertips facing towards the bum. Once you get to that position, roll your shoulders back and lift the chest. If you're already feeling a bit of work there, you can stay there. If you want a little bit extra, we're going to go into our boat pose. So maybe rolling onto the fleshy parts of the bum if you're on your sit bones. It'll help with your balance. You're going to lift up one leg and then the other. Now, if that's already too much, you can alternate your legs down to the floor, or you can take your hands to your legs. Either way, you're going to lift that chest. And if you're wanting a little bit more, you can take one hand off and then the other. Again, lift the chest. We're going to hold here for 2 more breaths. And gently lower the feet down, pop the hands back down on the mat. You're going to walk them behind you like we were in boat pose, but this time you're just going to lift your chest here. See if you can get a bit of a stretch down the outer shoulder. You may need to walk them back slightly further than they were for your boat pose. And gently release that. We're going to go for that L-sit position again, so sitting in a L shape. The legs are out long. Again, you can bend the knees, or you can sit on your block, whatever feels comfy for you. I'm going to take the arms up. Inhale. See if we can get those ribs down, sitting up nice and tall. On your next exhale, bend in the elbows. Inhale, come up. Exhale down, keep lifting tall. Inhale up. Exhale down, pulling the shoulder blades together behind us. Inhale up. Exhale down, this time holding the bent elbow position, pulling the shoulders together, keeping the ribs down and reaching through the crown of the head. And gently relax. A lot harder than it looks, isn't it? Okay, back into boat pose. You're gonna bend your legs, feet flat on the floor. Hands behind the bum, fingertips facing the bum. Roll the shoulders back and down and lift the chest. And again, whichever option for you is absolutely fine. So you can go one leg off and then the other. You can pop the hands to the thighs, or you can take the hands off completely wherever you are. You might want to be on the fleshy parts of your bum for balance and lifting the chest. Let's go 2 more breaths again if you've got it. And gently lower down. Great job. Let's stretch that out a little bit. It can be a little bit uncomfortable on those old hip flexors. So take your feet together, your knees apart. Again, option to sit on your block here. If you find yourself up here and it's completely uncomfortable, take yourself on a block and try again. And you may find that it opens out just that little bit further. So you take your hands wherever they reach, roll your shoulders back, lift through the crown of the head, pull the shoulder blades together. And then if you can reach your feet, if you're on the floor, you can open your feet out like a book so they're facing you. And if you're on a block, potentially that's not available to you. Stay in your bound angle position, your butterfly. Okay, now let's head into half butterfly, so half of this position. We're going to take one leg out long, so I'm just going to turn back round. So we're going to take our right leg out long and the left leg is bent in, the foot towards the inner thigh. So you can still be on your block here, or you can remove it and come down to the floor. If you decide to remove it, I want you to make sure that you're sitting on your sit bones and you're nice and tall. And if you don't feel that you can be in that position, sit on your block. An option for a block, which I should have mentioned at the beginning, you can use a book, preferably a hardback book to stop the pages flying around. But yeah, use a stack of books or even a pillow. Anything works to get a little bit of height. Okay? So we're going to sit nice and tall. Inhale, reach through the crown of the head, and then exhale, start to hinge forwards. Now we say hinge forward, what's coming through from the hips. So hinging as so, bring the belly towards the thigh. To give you some perspective, that is instead of rounding the spine and trying to get the head towards the knee. So again, pulling the belly down first. You may not get very far, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so we're in this position. We want you to pull your toes towards you to flex the foot. You might feel that a bit differently. Maybe you feel it down at the calf. And then point your toes. Maybe you feel a big old stretch down the front of the shin. Go between those two positions. And gently come all the way up. Now if you have problems with your knees, you're just going to stay in this position for me. And if you want to join me for the next one, then you can. We're going to be doing a side plank, modified side plank. We're going to take the left hand back behind us so it's at the top of the mat, the short edge of the mat. And then use your right hand to bring yourself on to your left knee. The right leg is out long. If this is too much on the shoulder, or you can't quite reach the floor, grab yourself a block. That's going to go under your left hand. Take the right arm up. If you are on the floor, we're going to try and stack the arms in one straight line. And if we're not, just reach up nice and high. Now wherever you end up, try and squeeze your bum, push your hips forward, so we're using some muscles there. And this left shoulder, push it away from you so it's away from the ear. And if you've got that, let's take the top arm, that right arm overhead and get a little bit of a stretch. And then gently take the right arm down, and you're going to come all the way back down to the floor. Okay. Come back to your original position. And this time you're going to take the bent leg on top. So you're crossing over, the ankle is just behind the knee of the right leg. Take your hands onto the floor and then start to bend in the right knee. So you're bringing your top leg closer towards you. You can stop at any point wherever you feel the stretch. You're going to flex that top foot so it's the opposite to pointed, that left foot. Bring it in as close as you can until you feel a stretch. You might find that down the outer left hip, maybe a little bit in the left hamstring. You also might find it elsewhere. We're all a bit different. If you're feeling comfortable, start to lift the chest, see if you can intensify that stretch a little bit. Remember, we never want to go to a point of pain, so back off if you've got any pain, especially going on in the knee. We don't want that. You're going to gently slide the right leg away from you, going back into this crossed over position. Find those sit bones again, and then maybe put forward here. See if that feels any different to you than before. Again, if you need a little bend in the knee, you can. Option to pop a rolled up towel under your knee for a little bit of support. Come all the way up to the top, release the left leg, take it out long, and then you're going to bring the right leg in to that half butterfly position, how we were before. The right leg bent, foot facing in towards the left thigh. Again, you can be on your block in this position. Try and make sure your hips are facing the short edge of the mat. We're on those sit bones nice and tall. Inhale, reach to the crown of the head. Exhale, start to hinge forward from the hips, bring the belly down first rather than rounding the spine. Great, we're going to take the toes, bring them back towards us, we're flexing the foot. And then point those toes, so you can feel a different stretch maybe down the top of the leg. And let's go between those 2 points. And gently sit up nice and tall. We have that side plank position again. So again, if you have any knee issues, just stay in this position. You can skip the side plank. Okay. Take the right hand behind you. It's on the floor for support. And then maybe using your left hand, come up onto your right knee. Option to take your right hand onto a block instead. The left leg's out long. We're going to squeeze the bum and push the hips forwards, trying to make everything in nice one line. And the left arm comes up overhead. Again, if you've managed to pop your hand on the floor, we're going to try and stack in one big old line. So stacking the shoulder above the wrist, and the wrist above the shoulder here. And then tip the left arm all the way overhead, trying to get a nice stretch down the left side. And then gently come all the way down to your mats. Back into our original position. Come back to your bum, and this time take the right leg over the top of the left. And we're gonna fold forward. And if you're anything like me, you might find that this side is a little tricky. There's not quite as much mobility in that right leg. That's something you can try and work on. top leg, we're going to try and come onto our fronts. Now you can do this without popping your knees on the mat if you need to. You can simply roll over onto your hip and onto your front. Either way, come down however's comfy for you to get there. I'm going to go for a cobra. I'm going to do an active cobra today, so we're going to use our back muscles. Okay. So we're going to come down to our fronts, the hands underneath the shoulders and the head facing down towards the mat. We're going to inhale, roll the shoulders back and lift the chest. Now that's our cobra position. Okay. Just nice and gentle. We're then going to come up onto the fingertips if you feel comfortable. We're squeezing the shoulder blades together and using our muscles. If you feel able, maybe come up to 2 fingers. And if you're feeling fancy, take the whole hand off and see if you can hold your cobra position. Top tip, if this is where you can hold, then this is where you should be in your cobra. You shouldn't be trying to force yourself into the back. And gently lower down. You can rest your head on the mat however is comfortable for you for a resting position. And then gently come back up. This time we're going to go for a locust, so a little bit more tricky this time, so take it as it comes at your own level. We're going to take the hands behind the back this time. If you can't clasp your hands, you're just going to face them out to the sides. Roll your shoulders back and lift the chest, just like you do in cobra, except this time we've got our hands clasped. Now, option to take this a bit further, you're going to squeeze the bum and lift the legs off the floor. If you want a bit more through the shoulders, try and take your hands away from the bum. See if you can still breathe there. See if you've got one more breath, keep lifting the chest. And gently release down, maybe pop your head the other way if you turned it one way to rest. Pop your hands back underneath your shoulders, you can sit it back into child's pose. If you can't go on your knees or bend your knees fully, then you can just stay lying, however's comfortable for you. So option to come back into child's pose is knees wide or narrow, feet together. Pull your hips back over your heels as far as they go. And if your head can go all the way down to mat, then that's great. And if it can't, maybe take one fist on top of the other underneath your forehead. If you want to do child's pose and this is not accessible for you, grab a big old pillow and just sit like this. Wherever you are, we're going to come back to a downward facing dog. So if you're on your knees, you're just going to tuck your toes. And if you're on your front, again, tuck your toes. This time you might need a bit of extra strength. We're going to come to down dog, however's comfy. We're going to go fingertips nice and wide. They're about shoulder distance apart. Feet are about hip distance apart. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Just lift that tailbone nice and high. The head's between the arms. We're pushing the floor away and gripping with the hands. Great job, guys. Let's do some halves and salutations. So gently step towards the top of your mat. You can bend the knees as much as you like. And from here, we're just going to do the half version of sun salutations to get used to it. So we're going to stand with the feet about hip distance apart. You're going to inhale, let me turn this way, sorry. You're going to Inhale, take the arms up. Press the palms together and exhale down to your chest. Let the shoulders melt away. Try and stand in a lovely Tadasana position. So feet are about hip distance. Pelvis is in neutral, so not forwards, not backwards, but somewhere in between. Shoulders back and down, reaching through the crown of the head. Belly button pulled in. Knees are soft. Ribs in. Okay, inhale to the top. Exhale, hinge from the hips, slight bend in the knees, we're going to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, maybe take your hands to your shins. A nice straight spine, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, forward fold. You can have a block here if you would prefer. And then gently bending the knees, inhale, come all the way back up to stand. Arms in the air, remembering that Tadasana or mountain pose position. Exhale down to your chest. The shoulders are down, we're in neutral. Let's go a couple more times. Inhale to the top. Exhale, hinge from the hips, slight bend in the knees, forward fold, option for a block. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to the top, arms in the air, remembering our posture. Exhale to the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to stand, arms in the air. Palms together, exhale down to your chest and pause there. Great, so that was a nice little flow we got going there. That's the beginning of our sun salutations. If you're ever in a class and they do sun salutations and you can't go down on your knees and do the press up part, just go with those ones. They are all you need. Okay, so from there, we're going to put the left leg back. Step it back onto the toes. The front leg is bent, the knees over the ankles to protect our knee. We don't want to go too far forwards. The back leg presses away from the mat. Inhale, take the arms up. Try and get them next to your ears if possible. Okay, we're going to transition into warrior 2 now. So when you're ready, you're going to take your torso and face it out to the long edge of the mat. The back foot is going to go down at 45 degrees. The front foot is facing the short edge of the mat. The arms drop down to parallel, and then let's check in with a few major points. Okay, so we've got a bend in the right knee. Again, the knee is over the ankle from the front, but feel free to shuffle around until you find it. The back leg often wants to drop down towards the mat, but we want to face it out. So see if you can turn the knee out to face the front. Okay. When your arms are out, your shoulders often hike, so let's pop those down, nice and gentle. We're going to pull the ribs in, the shoulders directly over the pelvis, so rather than sticking your bum out and your shoulders out in front. Pull it all into line, maybe tucking that tailbone a little bit. Then this front knee often dips in, so we've got to push it out, make it go in line with the toes back. Try and pop all of those things together. I know it's a lot. Maybe look down the right arm. And that's your warrior 2 pose. May take time to remember all those. Just keep coming back to this video, trying to figure it out. We're going to reverse our warrior now. So all we want to do is take the back hand down the back leg, so that's your left hand. Flip the front palm and raise it overhead. We've still got a bend in the front knee, and our chest is trying to face up towards the ceiling just a little bit. Gently come back to warrior 2. See if you can remember your positioning. And then we're going to step to the top of the mat. If you can't quite get there, just take a few steps, okay? Wonderful. Feet about hip distance apart. We're going to go for chair pose. So inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, sit back into your imaginary chair. It's just behind you, so you've got to push your hips back to get into your chair, bending in the knees, the weight's in the heels, and if this is too much on the shoulders, take your hands to your chest. See if you can pull the ribs in here. Got a nice neutral spine, just slightly curved, but we're not accentuating the curve. And then inhale, come all the way back up to stand. And we go on the other side with our lunge. So when you're ready, step the right leg back into your lunge position. So the right leg is on the toes, the left leg knee over ankle in the front with a bent knee. Inhale, take the arms up. Back leg pressing away from the mat. And let's head into our warrior two on the other side, okay? So hopefully you get a different view of it when I'll be facing away from you. So we're turning to the right, the body facing the long edge of the mat, the back foot dropping down to 45 degrees. The front leg is still bent over the ankle. Okay, the arms are up parallel, but we're dropping the shoulders. Pull the shoulders in directly over the pelvis, and as I said again, that might require a bit of a tucked tailbone there. Keep this knee over the toes, so not to squeeze the bum, pushing the knee outwards. Again, the right knee is facing out and not down, so see what that does to my hips there. Okay, maybe look over the left arm. Good. It is difficult to hold if you're doing all of those points. Okay, let's slide the back hand down the back leg, flip the front palm and raise it overhead. Gently bring it back to your warrior two. See if you can find that position. And then step it to the top of the mat for a chair pose. Feet about hip distance apart. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, sit it back into your chair. Option to take the hands to the chest, wherever is good for you. Ribs in. Maybe sit a little bit lower this time if you can. Pull your arms back, ribs stay in. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hinge on the hips, forward fold. Option for a little ragdoll here if you've got no back issues. You're going to have a slight bend in the knees. The tailbone is trying to face away. And maybe take the hands to the opposite elbows and let your body feel really heavy. Feel the tension release down the neck. Option to rock side to side. And place the hands on the floor by bending the knees and then gently come down to sit, however is comfy for you to get down. Okay, we're going to go for our sleepless twist. So, take the right leg out long, the left leg over the opposite knee. The left hand comes behind on the floor for support. The right arm is going to hug the left knee. We're going to inhale nice and tall. And exhale, look over the left shoulder. Gently come back to center. We're going to do a bit of a half cow face. So this top leg, you're going to bring it around to try and get your knees stacked over one another, as so. If you can't, you're just going to go as far as you can. Again, you can be sat on a block. You're going to start to fold forwards, just as we did before. You might do this in a slightly different place. gently bring all the way back up. Maybe use your hands to remove the top foot. And now the left leg's going to be long. We're going to do our seated twist the other way. So take the right leg over the opposite side of the left knee. You're going to take your right hand on the floor for support. Left arm hugs the right knee. Inhale, lift nice and tall. Exhale, look over the right shoulder. Looking back to center. Take that top leg, bring it round a bit, stacking the knees or as close to as you can get. And then maybe start to fold forward slightly. Bring it back up to center, remove the top leg. Then we can gently come down to our backs with the legs out long. And we'll do our cross body stretch. So we're going to take the left leg up in the air, bend at the knee at 90 degrees. Take the right hand to the left knee. The knee is going to come across the body down towards the floor. The left arm out to the side with the palm facing up. And if it's comfortable for your neck, you're going to look towards the left hand. Gently drop the top leg down, that left leg, so we're back lying on the back with 2 legs out long. Then go the other way, so the right leg comes up at 90 degrees, left hand to right knee, knee comes across the body down towards the floor, and the right arm out to the side with the palm facing up. Option to look over to the right if that's comfortable for your neck. And again, gently release the right leg, coming to lie on your back. I want you to lie however is comfortable for you. So if you want to bring your knees in, that's absolutely fine. Rock in. And if you want to grab a pillow or anything, that is absolutely fine. What we're about to do is Shavasana, or the end of most yoga classes, a kind of meditation. We're not going to spend too long here. We're just going to take this time to feel a bit relaxed. Okay? So roll the shoulders back and down on the mat. Start to breathe in through the nose and allow the belly to expand, just as we did at the beginning. And then breathe out through the nose. This time breathe out all of the way if you can. And the idea is that you're going to lengthen the breath, and by doing so, feel more relaxed. Allow your eyes to close if you feel comfortable. And let your body feel heavy, like all the muscles are just melting into the mat. I'm just going to spend 3 long deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And gently bring yourself back to a seated position. Again, however's comfortable for you, it doesn't have to be cross-legged. Inhale, take your arms up. Press your palms together and exhale them down to your chest. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you found it accessible and a really good introduction into yoga to show you that you can do yoga as well, even if you can't put pressure on your knees. I hope that you come back and join me soon. And if you're after a little bit extra, please head to my website yogawithelyse.com and download my free ebook. That'll give you a good idea of some more poses you can try, some more modifications, and a little bit of background on yoga if you want to learn. So hopefully I will see you again soon. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day.